Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're about to jump into one of the trickiest parts of English grammar. You guessed it, if sentences. But don't you worry. In this explainer, we're going to make them super simple and really clear. Does this look familiar? If I go, if I went, if I had gone. It can be so confusing, right? So many students get stuck on which one to use. Well, if that's you, you're in exactly the right place to figure this out, for good. Hi, I'm Teacher Mari, and I'm going to be your guide. We are going to walk through the 4 main if sentences in English, step by step. And I promise, by the time we're done, you're going to feel so much more confident. So you ready? Let's get started. All right, let's start at the very beginning, level 0. I like to call this one the rule book because it's all about things that are always true. Think of them like rules that never change. This is our 0 conditional, and it's the base for everything else we're going to learn. So when do we actually use it? Well, you pull out the 0 conditional for things that are 100% true. We're talking scientific facts, general truths about how the world works, or just things about yourself that are always true. It's like a simple equation: if this happens, that always happens. And check out the structure. It's beautifully simple. The if part of the sentence uses the present simple tense. And guess what? The result part also uses the present simple. Present simple and present simple. Easy to remember, right? Let's look at some examples. If you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. Is that sometimes true? No. It's a scientific fact. It's always true. How about if you don't eat, you get hungry? Well, that's a general truth for all of us. See? The 0 conditional is all about the facts. Great, you've got level 0 down. Now let's level up to level 1. I call this one the fortune teller because we're not talking about facts anymore. Now we're talking about real possibilities in the future. We're making predictions. This is the first conditional. So we use the first conditional when we're talking about a future situation that we think is very possible or very real. This isn't a rule or a scientific fact anymore. It's more like a plan, a prediction, or maybe even a warning about something that could really happen. Okay, now here's the big change in the structure. The if part still uses the present simple, just like in level 0. But look at the result. Now we use will or won't. That little word will is our signal that we're looking into the future. Let's look at these examples. If it rains tomorrow, we will stay inside. Is it a fact that it will rain? No, of course not. But it's a real possibility, and this is our plan. Or, if she studies hard, she will pass the exam. We believe this is a very likely result. It's a strong prediction. This slide is perfect for seeing the difference. The 0 conditional sentence says, if I drink coffee at night, I don't sleep well. That's a general fact about me. It's always true. But the first conditional sentence is about a specific plan for tonight. It's a possibility for this one specific time. Okay, ready to have a little fun? Let's move up to level 2, the dreamer. This is where we get to use our imagination. We use this for things that are not real, that are hypothetical, or just very unlikely to happen. This is the second conditional. Yep, we use the second conditional to talk about our dreams. You know, what would you do if you won the lottery? Or if I had a superpower, I would. These situations aren't real right now, so we're just imagining. We also use it a lot to give advice. Now look closely at this. To show that a situation is imaginary, English does a really clever little trick. The if part of the sentence uses the past simple. Now, we're not talking about the past here. We use the past tense to create a little distance from reality. It's a signal that says, hey, this isn't real. And then the result uses would. These examples are perfect. If I had $1 million. Do I have $1 million right now? Nope. It's a dream, so I use the past tense had. And look at the second one. If I were you. This is a classic way to give advice. I can never be you, so the situation is totally imaginary. Are you ready for the final level? Let's jump into level 3, the time traveler. I call it this because this conditional is like having our own little time machine. We use it to look back at the past and imagine how things could have been different. This is the third conditional. So the most important thing to get here is that everything, the condition and the result, is in the past. It's over. We're talking about something in the past that didn't happen, and because of that, we can only imagine what the result would have been. It's the perfect way to talk about regrets. Okay, I know this structure looks a little complicated, but trust me, there's a clear logic to it. The if part uses the past perfect tense. That's had plus the third form of a verb, like had seen or had known. Then the result uses would have plus that same verb form. The whole thing just screams the past. So, in all of these sentences, we're talking about past regrets. If she had studied, she would have passed. What's the real story? Well, she didn't study, so she didn't pass. If we had taken a taxi, the reality is we didn't, and so we missed our flight. We're imagining a different past that we simply can't change. This slide makes the difference between level 2 and level 3 so clear. The second conditional is for an imaginary situation now. If I had more time now, but the third conditional is for an imaginary situation in the past. If I had had more time yesterday, see? It really is all about the timing. And look at that, we did it! You made it through all 4 levels. This little chart puts everything we learned together. Level 0 for facts, 1 for the real future, 2 for imaginary present, and 3 for the imaginary past. Go ahead and pause here if you need to, but when you're ready, let's test your knowledge. All right, first question. Let's look for clues in the sentence. If she had known. Had known. That's our past perfect tense. So which level is that? That's right, it's level 3, the time traveler. So the answer is C, would have come. If she had known, she would have come. And the next one. If I were rich. Is this real right now? Nope, definitely not. It's a dream, an imaginary situation in the present. And which level is our dreamer? Level 2. So the correct answer is B, would travel. If I were rich, I would travel the world. You're doing great. So what this all comes down to is that you now have the tools to talk about everything, from simple facts and real plans to your biggest dreams and even your past regrets. Really, mastering if sentences is like mastering possibility in English. So now the question is, what will you do with this new skill? Thanks for learning with me today, and keep practicing.